Welcome to Mitchell Elf. This theme this year is Adaptations, and this unit is Hunter Hunted, and this is Center 2, Getaway Skits. The objective of this center is for students to learn about a variety of animal hunting and escaping strategies. And as always, there are a few library books that you can take a look at, or have the students take a look at, maybe to introduce them to the concept of hunter versus hunted, especially if this is their first rotation. And ahead of time, as the volunteer, you'll need to look through all of the skits so that you can familiarize yourself with them and kind of come up with a game plan for what you'd like to do and make sure you emphasize. There's a paper that has the scenarios on them. There's, I believe, 5 different scenarios: the bobcat and the hare, polar life, bird of prey, Northwoods encounter, and fox and mice. So, for instance, what you'll do is read through the scenarios on there, but then also you can read on the back of the card. So for instance, on this wolf one that goes with the Northwoods encounter, it says that there are 2 wolves and a moose, and the wolf, let's see, a group of moose, a cow, and calves is browsing on tree branches. The wolves gather in the distance and watch the moose, then separate and try to sneak up on the moose. One moose smells the wolves. The cow moose face the wolves and keep the calves behind them. Moose drive off the wolves with their hooves. So this scenario is on the back of all of these cards, this exact same thing. So you would want to have, maybe the whole group would do this particular scenario, since there's a bunch of characters, but you would have the students kind of read through the skit. You might help them practice what they're going to do, and then they could act it out. The wolves would be kind of lingering out there again in the distance, and the moose, the cow, and the calves could pretend to be eating the tree branches, and then the wolves could sneak up, but then one moose would kind of lift its head in the air and smell, and then as the wolves got closer, the cow moose would try to face the wolves and keep the calves, the babies, behind them, and then try to drive them off by stamping their feet or their hooves. Hopefully that makes sense on the video. It probably makes more sense if you're looking at these cards. There's a polar life one where there's a seal and a school of fish and a polar bear. And so the polar bear and the seal are swimming, and the seal is chasing the fish, and then comes up to a hole in the ice for air. But after the seal goes down again, the polar bear comes along and waits by that hole. The next time the seal comes up, the polar bear takes a big swipe, but just misses the seal, who dives back down into the water. So you could have the kids figure out how they're going to act that out and practice it a little bit, and then come back and show the group. So just depending on how big your group is, you could have different kids doing different skits, or all the kids doing one skit at a time, or some kids being an audience. It's totally up to you how you want to do this. There are 5 different skits, and in each skit there is usually at least 2, if not 3, sometimes 4 or 5 characters. And so it's a good one to read ahead of time, like I've said now a few times. You can choose to do it however you'd like. The outline suggests a couple different things. But after each performance, it's important to discuss the adaptations that are employed by the hunter and hunted animals in the skits. And it's important to have that discussion after each skit so that you can get the kids to be focusing on why it is that they've acted out what they did, why it is that the seal has to be pretty quick to get away from the polar bear as it's swiping at it, why the fish are swimming in a school to kind of make themselves look bigger and protect themselves from the seal that's trying to eat them, or for instance why the mother moose, the cows, back their babies up behind them to try to protect them from the wolves. What kinds of adaptations are these animals all making so that they can survive. You can also have students summarize the plot from their own skit, or if they're being the audience, they could summarize the plot from the skits they've just seen. Again, this is really pretty fluid and up to the parent volunteer that's doing it as to how they think it'll best fit and adapt to your age group of students. If you have any questions, you can email us at mitchellelf@gmail.com, and happy acting.